Hey, Roddy, CJ here. Just want to thank you for sending your swing in to me. Let's go ahead this up. So, a couple things here. I want to just show you a little bit of your posture. Posture, as you'll know, is one of the areas that I really kind of strive for and really want my students to have to work on quite a bit. So, let me just pull up Tiger here. So you can see, and really what I'm looking at here, and I understand, Tiger's got great posture, but it's really kind of your belt line that we're looking at here. You can see Tiger's belt line's a little bit sharper. So if you can just kind of imagine that, and I'm going to include at the end of this a video that you can work on for posture. But really what we're looking at is from the back of the shoulders, kind of the tip of the knees, balls of the feet. That's the line we're kind of looking at here, and that's what we're trying to get for you. So you look just like you have a little bit too much knee flex, a little too rounded kind of right here in your butt area. So as we take this club back, and what I like about your swing here, so we're going to keep the club head in front of you going back, which you do a great job of. Maybe perhaps just a little too much. You're going to see Tiger here. Right there, you have very similar motion there, but you're going to see how your hands get just off that line, and therefore you're going just a little bit too much up. But to get there, it's actually a pretty good look right there. The one thing I'm going to look at a little bit more closely here is just where this elbow, your right elbow is. You can see how Tiger's right elbow is just a little bit more in front of him. I'm going to look at that from the other view just to check. But, it's just coming down a little steep, but not bad at all. Because, again, if you look at it where you're exiting here and where you're coming down, the club is basically on a single plane. So I really like that. Now, this is one area that I just want you to kind of look at. If you're just kind of looking at your head and where your rear end is, the camera moves a little bit, but you're going to see how much more your rear end comes in at impact. So that could be a result of a couple things, one being tight hamstrings. Obviously, I can't tell by looking at you here if you have tight hamstrings, but if that's one of the issues you have, then I definitely want you to work on that. But you can see where Tiger starts that line on his rear end. You can see at the top, he almost goes further back into it, and then obviously keeps it on that position there in the downswing. Let's look at you from face on. Now, one thing we're going to look at, and what we want to have happen is, let's see here. Okay, if you look at Tiger's right hip, when he swings back, you're going to see how it turns. And so when he gets to the top, he's actually further away from that red dot. Let's look at yours now. You can see sort of how, and it's really just in your right knee. All I'm going to have you do is just kind of keep that right knee kicked in more. You see how you get ever so slight bit amount of sway there? So if we look at your head hasn't really moved a ton off the ball. Okay, your head's actually in a pretty good position, but it's your hip that's moving. And if you can see, if you look at the trees in the background, whoever's recording this is actually moving the camera. So I think it would actually probably look like your right hip has slid even more. But just by moving the camera, it's able to kind of give the appearance when I've got that red dot on here. You can see how the red dot's moving back to the right with you. So it's actually sliding a little bit more. As you come down, good lag, everything there's pretty good. So really, realistically, all you've got to work on at this point, Roddy, is your posture. We want to get your rear end up and out, kind of like you're sitting on a tall bar stool. And then from there, we are going to get your backswing. You're just going to feel like you can keep your butt end of the club a little bit closer to your right side there. We don't want it to move away so far. So if you kind of had a paintbrush right here, just feel like as you swung the club back, you're going to paint your right thigh, whereas that's moving just a fraction away from you. You do that and get that right hip to turn better, and the easy way to do this would be just to stand there in your golf posture. You can do this right now. Just stand up and get in your golf posture. No club. Put your hands on your hips, and then just turn over your right shoulder and look at something behind you. More than likely, your right hip's going to turn, your right knee is going to stabilize, your left knee is going to turn in perfectly, and you've created the proper body motion. If you sort of get the point where you're sliding, that's where you kind of, that swaying issue. So I hope that makes sense to you. I'm going to include some videos here on the end, and send me an email on the Insider Club and the blog, and send me an email, and just keep that email going. You can send me, what's going on with your game, what problems you're having, slices, hooks, all these things, any back injuries, or if your back's sore when you're done, and we can talk about it. And just keep that email, and we'll just keep it going each month. And that way it'll allow me to kind of see the past stuff that we worked on, my answers, and we'll be able to kind of keep this going over the next year or so. And it really shouldn't even take that long. You've got a pretty good swing. Even Tiger, being a great player, is always focusing on the fundamentals, being grip, posture, ball position, alignment, things like that. But you look like you've got a pretty good swing, other than just a little bit of sway here, a little bit of the hands out there, and posture. Posture, do that first. That will affect a lot of how your body works. That might even affect or change your hands here. So that's what I would do first. Your body's just going to move better. So, Roddy, thanks, buddy. I hope to talk to you soon.
The second fundamental that we want to cover today is posture. If you've ever played any other sports, whether it's basketball, baseball, or anything like that, when you're ready, a shortstop, when he's ready to field the ball, he's in a nice athletic posture. If you were playing basketball and you're guarding someone, you wouldn't really want to stand like this because you really are not in the position to move. So you want to be in a nice athletic position. That's what we want to do for golf as well. Golf is an athletic movement. The better posture you have, the more your body is willing and able to move in the proper fashion. So to do this, we're going to go over a couple drills to get into the proper posture. The first one, it's very simple. You want to go ahead and just place your hands on there. Put your feet about shoulder width apart, and just look down between your arms. Bend your knees so you can't see your shoelaces. From here, drop your arms against your chest. Notice my back is still in a nice erect fashion at that point. And the club will sit a couple feet off the ground. From here, go ahead and bend from your hips until the club gets on the ground. That's the nice posture we want to achieve. How far away should you be from the ball at that point? A lot of people ask that. You basically want, from this nice athletic position, you should just be able to wave your hand through here. Obviously, if it's out here, you've got tons of room. If it's in here, you can't wave through. So just a nice little wave through. That's a nice athletic position. Another drill for posture that I find is really good is what we want to do is go ahead and stand with your nose and ear level. You just want to place this club underneath your nose. Now what I'm going to do here with my left hand is extremely important. I want to go ahead and pinch the club in flat against my chest. I don't want to hold the shaft and be sort of rounded with all these gaps in my back, but just right here, go ahead and give me a little bit of knee flex. My right hand at this point will sit right on my thigh, and I'm just going to bend from the waist until I touch the top part of my knee, just like that. From there, I would place the club in front of me. From this view, what it would look like, again, nose and ear level, left hand placed against the chest, flat, place it right against your chest so that there are no gaps right in this area. That's very important. From here, a little bit of knee flex, and as my right hand, as I bend over, my right hand slides down. Two common faults that you'll see at this point is one, they bend over and they create this gap between the shaft and their chest. Make sure you don't do that. And two, if you watch my knees, I'll either add knee flex or I will straighten my knees. But again, from here. Keep your knees solid. Keep no gaps between the shaft and your chest. Bend over till you touch the top part of your knee, and go ahead and place the club in front of you just like that. Those are two easy ways to get your posture when you're on the driving range. Practice that. Take it to the course. It'll really help your game.